Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
Real estate agents. Are you ready to take your career to new heights with a brokerage that puts you first? At Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, we offer something no one else does, a powerful money-back guarantee. We believe in our support so much that if you don't close a transaction within 90 days, we'll refund every dollar you've paid to us. And if a year goes by and you still haven't closed, we'll even refund your payments to HAR, MLS, and Supra. Your success is our priority. At Brooks & Davis, you're not just joining a brokerage, you're becoming part of a community that's dedicated to your growth. Whether you're a licensed agent ready to elevate your career, or you're on your way to earning your license, we've got a place for you. Visit the website on the screen today to learn more. Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, your trusted partner in real estate.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, LarryWBrooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we have over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network Live. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and we're really excited to be here streaming live from the Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm Education and Training Center here at 2600 South Loop West, Suite 310 here in Houston, Texas, man. Big, huge shout out to everybody on the Brooks & Davis team. Big shout out to everybody at the Prime Real Estate Network team. It's an honor and a pleasure to work with you all every week. I want to take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand, man. Enjoying the fine weather, I'd like to introduce the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. LarryWBrooks. What's going on?
Yo, I have no complaints, Rick. You right, man. I'm out here getting this, as they say, I think it's vitamin C or vitamin D when the sun pours into you a little bit. That's what I'm out here doing, man.
You can't complain when the weather look like that in November, man. So, what they say, we blessed and highly favored right now, man.
Hey, man, that part right there, man, it's definitely one of those type days out here in the city, man. I totally agree.
Hey, man, what's been going on this week in the world of the Texas Real Estate King, man? There's so much going on and bubbling in the city of Houston this week. What have you been partaking in, and what have you been enjoying this week?
Yeah, man. The city of Houston has been wild this week. This week mainly because, we got the Afro Tech that's taking place, and it's all over downtown Houston, and I'm looking at so many social media pages where the events are like lines outside of buildings and stuff like that. So that's great. That means there's a lot of people in the city pointing to the economy. I want to give a shout out to podcast alumni or Prime Real Estate alumni, Chris Synagogue. He hosted his birthday party / appreciation event, a black tie event on last Friday, I believe it was, man. Went out there, had an opportunity to mix and mingle with 400-500 other people, man. It was really a great time, great event. So shout out to him. Shout out to our other past guest, Ken. He ended up, he's one of the owners of Jolie. He ended up doing the after event there. So that was an amazing turnout. And so just seeing the prosperity of these different people that have been a part of the Prime Real Estate Network show and just their continued growth in their businesses, man, has been pretty exciting this week for us.
A big, huge shout out to everyone, man, because I always like to highlight how much success there is in the city of Houston. and how if you are an aspiring entrepreneur and a business owner or a real estate professional, the city of Houston is the perfect place to embark upon your mission of entrepreneurship. So if you have any questions, reach out to the Texas Real Estate team via DM. Reach out to myself. We would love to talk to you about real estate and entrepreneurial and ventures as a whole. So I want to make sure I give everyone in the audience the opportunity to take advantage of you and your wisdom, man. So appreciate that.
Hey, that part right there, man. That part.
Hey, man, could you share a little bit about this week's guest? How were you able to get her to commit to sitting in with us, man? Because we're always so proud to have members of the Brooks and Davis real estate family sit in on the show. So could you share a little bit about this week's guest with our audience?
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's a big part of what you just said. You know, we have one thing that a lot of people don't know about Brooks and Davis is that not only do we have the umbrella company Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, but we have several teams inside of the organization. We have the Laquana real estate team. We have the Jackie Curry real estate team, and we also have the 5 Star team, and of course we have the Prime Real Estate Network teams too, right? So up under that big brand, we have several different organizations, and today we have one of our special guests, one of the newer members of the 5 Star team, and I'm just excited to have her on. It was not difficult at all. We got that time schedule lined up, and she's here to grace us with her presence as well as some knowledge that we can bestow upon some of our listeners today.
No, absolutely, man. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. This fine woman is not only one of the most talented real estate professionals in the city. She is a teacher. She is a mentor. She's done so much to push the real estate industry forward. And like Mr. Brooks mentioned, she is also a member of the 5 Star team here at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank her. Larry would like to thank her for sitting in with us this week. And we would like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Ms. Diana Peters. How are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Diana, for sitting in with us. First thing, for the members of our audience that are being introduced to you for the first time, Diana, could you just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your real estate experience and your real estate brand?
Okay, so my name is Diana Peters, and I started my career with real estate in 2021 in April. I was a manager at the Postal Service for about 31 years, and I decided to retire because I always had an interest in being in real estate. I love helping people and educating people about the process. When I lived in New Jersey, me and my husband bought our first home, and not to say anything bad about the agent, it was just that she didn't give us a lot of information. And so as a first-time home buyer, you need to know the things, the processes, so that you can make an informed decision. And so that's one of my main reasons for wanting to be in real estate. So I love helping people. I love educating people and helping them to make the right decision.
Ms. Peters, thank you so much for being transparent and sharing that story. Because one of the things that's interesting about what you just shared with us is how your past experience as a buyer has helped to shape and mold how you practice real estate now that you're a professional. One of the things that Larry and I have always been of as far as the members of the 5 Star team is that all of the members of that team always seem to put their clients' best interests first before their own. So how do you feel that past experience as a buyer shaped you and molded you and how you practice real estate now as a practitioner and a professional?
Well, I would say that in all of the jobs that I have had, even my career as in the Postal Service, I have always wanted to help people. If somebody came in and they needed a question asked, if I didn't know the answer to that question, I'm going to go do my research and I'm going to come back and give that person the answer that they needed. So I would say that that's just me. That's just the type of person that I am. I just like making sure that people are able to have all the information that they have, so that they can make, like I said earlier, an informed decision. and a good decision for their family. Buying a home is one of the most important, and maybe one of the biggest things that somebody would do in their life. And you want to be able to buy a home that you like and that you can stay in, especially if it's your first home and you're trying to build a family. And you just want to have the correct information and be in a house that's going to serve the purposes that you need it for.
No, you mentioned how important that first home buying transaction is in so many families, not only financial, but also investments, careers as a family. Could you just talk a little bit about those first time buyers, some of the things that you do to help put them at ease? And a lot of times, Larry and I talk about this a lot, they need a lot of motivation and inspiration. So could you just talk about, as a realtor, real estate professional, some of the things that you found are needed to help those first time buyers get off the sideline and get involved in the real estate game?
Well, a lot of times, first time home buyers, they're not even aware that they can purchase a home. So the first thing that when I'm talking to them, I'm telling them the first step in their journey is to look at their credit and see where they are. And once they get with a lender who can tell them what their credit score is, then that lender will be able to let them know that yes, you can buy a house now, or you might have to do some work on your credit. And some people are so afraid of starting the process. And because they don't have the resources or they don't know anyone who can tell them what they need to do, then that fear is like it freezes them to even go into action.
Mhm.
So because they don't know, they're not even going to start the journey. And
Right.
so for me, when I'm talking to someone, I have everything in place. I have a lender. If I tell them that they could go talk to this lender, and this is the first process, they're going to tell you what you need to do. You might need credit repair. And sometimes that's another thing that they're afraid of, that, oh, I have all of this and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, what I have to pay or anything like that. But that lender will be able to let them know, and they might be ready to buy a house in a month,
Right.
2 weeks, 3 weeks. And so now that they started that first process, now we could start looking at homes and seeing how much, what me asking them what they're looking for in their house. And then I could sit down with them and have a discussion with them. Like and I'm not treating them just a client, just a transaction. I'm trying to build a relationship with them. I want to know about them. I want to know what they're looking for in a house. And then I'm going to do my best to get everything that they want or need so that they can have that house that they want to live in.
You know, one of the things that Larry and I are really focused on is gathering up-to-date information so that everyone in the market can know where the best value for new homes are, where they can find the best financing terms, that type of thing. Because one of the things that I've run into a lot is that we have so many potential buyers who feel as if they've been priced out of the market, but they just have no idea that there are still really beautiful brand new homes under 300,000 in the 250s, in the 260s. So Diane, could you just speak to our audience about those type of products, some of the things that you found that are currently available in the market, and some opportunities to buy that people who could potentially be first time buyers may not be aware of?
Okay, yes. So I actually I had a client not too long ago who they were only approved for a home for $250,000. I actually found a new build in Hockley that was in their budget. So there are numerous opportunities for people in whatever budget they have. I mean, you have homes that are in the hundreds, 180, 200,000 market. And yeah, they might have to have some repairs or whatever, but you have so many products out there that lenders have that can help you with those repairs. And you're able to FHA loans,
Right.
even conventional loans. They can help you with the repairs that that house might need. And then sometimes those homes don't even need anything that's really going to hit your pocket too much. So like I said, if you have the resources and come into a realtor, because the realtor is going to have all of those things. They're going to have access to contractors, they're going to have access to lenders, they're going to have access to if you're trying to sell a home, we have access to stagers, people that's going to come in there to do remodeling. And then you don't have to pay anything until you close, and it comes out of your proceeds from your closing. So there are so many products out there, and it's so important that you come to a realtor and just ask questions, and we're there to help you.
You know, the great thing, and I want to thank you so much for that message, Ms. Peters, because the great thing about having you on the show this week is that you are able to illustrate for our audience all the things that they could take advantage of as a potential buyer or a potential client of yours. But you also can shed some light into the transition from your professional career at the post office to what motivated you to transition into entrepreneurship and becoming a real estate professional. So for those in our audience that currently have their 9-to-5 career job right now, that may be on lunch break or on a break, who may be checking us out live on YouTube and Facebook, and shout out to those who are, could you talk a little bit about your mindset as you geared up to the transition, how long you thought about it, and what was that motivating factor that pushed you over the edge and made you make that change?
Okay, so when I lived in New Jersey, I worked at the post office then as well. And I actually, after we bought our first house, I actually went to school to get my real estate license. But when I passed the test and I went with a broker and everything, I passed the test. But working at the post office in the position that I was in, I really didn't have a lot of time to do the things that I needed to do, and to brand myself and to get myself out there so that I could have clients. So fast forward 2006, we moved to Texas. I'm still working at the post office. And like I said, I'm a type of person. I am a planner. I am a problem solver. And those are good traits for a person in this business, because you are going to have some failures, but you can't take those failures and think of them as roadblocks. They should be stepping stones, because down the line, and a learning lesson, because that's the opportunity to learn. And then you look at the mistakes that you've made, and then you can go and fix them and get better at what you're doing. So at the post office, I was just seeing that I was not being my normal self. And when I started feeling like I'm not the Diana that I'm supposed to be, I said, it's time for me to go. So when that time came, I said, real estate is what I wanted to do, and I'm gonna go back. So I went to school, I got my license again, and I've been on that role ever since then. So I retired in December of 2020 at the post office, and I got my license on April 1st, and I got my first client on April 10th.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
That's how you execute it, definitely. You know, as you talk about that, Diana, um, I'm always curious because we do also have a lot of professionals that do what we do, realtors in the business, and sometimes in this industry we get stuck. What are your top three ways of lead generating? You know, I don't know if it's open houses or if it's calling your top 50. What are your top three things that you enjoy doing on a consistent basis that allows you to bring in new leads?
I would say open houses. Open houses are one.
Okay.
The second one would be I have a sphere influence, and people that might not know that, these are people that you know, you might work with, friends, family, and I get referrals from those people. And I also get referrals from past clients that I have helped. I actually got a referral from a client that I helped buy a house in July, and he gave me a referral for a older woman that was selling her home. And I went and actually saw her yesterday, and I had a conversation with her. And so the joy that I see in people's faces when they get information that they did not know. This woman she said, I've spoken to 3 other agents, and you have given me so much information, because she already bought her house, and she was kind of like me at my first time home buyer. She didn't know a lot, and the person didn't tell them a lot about the process or whatever. And she said, you just told me so much. She gave me a hug at the end. And I mean, that's what gets me. That's my joy, and that's my passion in doing this, is seeing the faces on my clients, and even seeing somebody that's not my client yet, and I'm able to give them information to help them make a decision that they need to know. So I would say open houses, referrals from friends and family, and also my referrals from my past client. But I also use social media as well, and marketing.
You know, that's amazing, and I love to hear you say that. And you know, the thing about it, it really stands out the energy and the passion that you have for the industry and for doing what it is that you do. Now, I don't know if we blame that on it being your second career, and you've kind of dealt with people in the past, and you realize what joy truly looks like on someone's face, or that it's just one of those things that's always been seeded inside of you. But I do commend you for just having that type of energy and being that person. You know, I also heard you mention social media, and that's been one of the conversations that I've been having with realtors lately. You know, when it comes to communicating with your social media people, I've always been one of those people that it's kind of like networking, right? At some point, you got to start to, you know, DM people, or if they have their email address, a phone number on there, you can reach out to them and say, "Hey, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about what it is that I do." Is that one of the ways that you use your social media, or is it only the people that you know?
No, I send out DMs to other people as well. I'm actually on some groups on social media, like people moving to Houston, people moving to Texas, and I'll put my name out there. I'll post my business card on there. People get on there and they ask questions. I go on there and I connect with those people to answer those questions. Now, one of the things doing social media was one of the hardest things for me getting into this business. But this is a very important that you're out there and you're networking, and you're getting to know other people, not just the people that are in your circle. You have to widen that circle and tell other people that what you are, what you do, what your service is, what your product is. There was a saying when I was in school for real estate. They were saying, don't be a secret agent. So we have to tell everybody what we do and how we can help them.
Absolutely, man. I want to thank you so much, because your transparency and the way you've been able to allow us to take advantage of your past experiences, I'm sure is something that'll serve so many members of our audience. But I want to ask you, because your story has been that of perseverance, stick-to-itiveness, consistency, and most importantly, the courage that it takes to transition. When you think about your upbringing as a young lady, were there any members of your family that may have been business owners or entrepreneurs that, when you think back and reflect, may have served as almost like an inspiration or a catalyst in some way?
Yes, actually, the only person that I remember that had their own business was my aunt Joan. She had a cleaning business, and actually, me and my cousins, we would help her when we would come visit for the summer. So, anytime she cleaned offices, So we would go and help her with her job doing that. And so she was the only one that that was an entrepreneur in my family that I can recall. And it was an inspiration because it gives you that mindset that you can do something for yourself. You're not going to a job every day and making somebody else rich. Now you have your own, and you are able to support your family with the things that you are doing and not have to answer to somebody 9 to 5. The flexibility of being an entrepreneur is awesome as well, because now you can, if you're a family person, you can set time for your family. When you're working on a job, that job is dictating your time.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for sharing that, because I think sometimes as we evolve as business professionals and entrepreneurs and we have successes and we deal with roadblocks, we start to realize all the things that we were watching as we were younger, all the things that we were observing, and how it gave us some inspiration that we didn't even know we were going to need for 20, 25 years. And that's the great part about having guests like you on with us, Diana. And I want to thank you so much for your transparency and candor, because I'm sure there are so many tidbits of your story that members of our audience will be able to grasp from, to be able to hold on to, and that they can use as fuel from whenever they are confronted with a certain challenge or roadblocks in their real estate career. And I want to thank you so much, because Larry and I always talk about how in real estate, Thursdays are the busiest days. And of course, that's when we're always asking people to give us 30 minutes of their time. So thank you so much, Ms. Peters. So in closing, I want to ask you this. For the members of our audience that have been totally grabbed and enthralled in this conversation, that have been more than impressed with you, that would like to meet you, interact, and pick your brain in person, will there be an opportunity when that opportunity will present itself? And could you just share how Miss Diana Peters moves around and where she'll be next for the members of our audience to come and meet you?
I actually will be at an open house in Katy on Saturday from 2 to 4. The address is 23231 Sawleaf Circle in Katy. So I would be there from 2 to 4. I also am on Instagram, Diana Peters _Realtor. So you could get in contact with me there. Come see me at the open house and actually look at the beautiful home that I'll be showcasing. So somebody could purchase that home and call that their family home.
Absolutely, man. I want to invite everyone out to follow you on social media, stop by your open house. Ms. Peters, could you share your social media and your IG handle with our audience so everybody can tap in and become a part of your movement?
My IG handle is at Diana Peters _Realtor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Please, if you ever have any news, updates, or anything you would like to share with our audience, tap in with us. Let Larry or myself know. Ms. Peters, you always have a seat here with us, man. You've been a joy to interview. I want to make sure we invite everyone out to your open house this weekend in Katy. Stop by. Let Ms. Diana Peters know you saw her on the Prime Real Estate Network. Check out her home and hopefully submit an offer. So,
correct.
Is there anything, Ms. Peters, you would like to say to our audience in closing before you sign off from this week's episode?
Well, I would like to just say that thank you for giving me the chance to be on here and to speak to everyone. And anyone who is trying to be an entrepreneur, looking into doing it, if that's your dream, that's in your heart, follow it. Don't be afraid. Fear stops everyone from doing certain things. Just take that first step and keep on stepping. And just like I said, there's going to be some failures, but it's not the end of the world. We all have failures in our life. Just go after that dream and grab it.
Absolutely. I want to thank you so much, Ms. Peters. It's been an honor and a pleasure to interview you. Thank you much for carving some time out of a busy Thursday. And we want to honor you today, Queen. Thank you so much for all the hard work you do and all the things you provide for the real estate community at large. So thank you so much, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Man, that was a great interview with a great lady, man. I urge everyone to tap in with Ms. Peters. Follow her on Instagram at Diana Peters _realtor. Tap in, check her out, go through her open house. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, as well. And I want to make sure I invite everyone in our audience out this weekend to the Prime Real Estate Network First Time Home Buyer Showcase property. I will be personally hosting an open house in Katy as well. The address of the property is 3627 Clipper Winds Way. If you follow the Prime Real Estate Network IG or Prime Real Estate Rick on Instagram, you'll have opportunity to get some information about that open house. Please, if you are in the market, if Katy is an area that your clients are interested in, please feel free to stop by, reach out to me. I would love to meet with you, talk about owner financing, talk about this home in particular, or anything that you would like to discuss under the real estate sun. So once again, I want to thank Ms. Diana Peters from the 5-star team over here at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to give a huge shout out to the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. I want to thank super producer Jay Joseph behind the scenes on the ones and twos for bringing this show to everyone. And until next Thursday, when we are here live on the Prime Real Estate Network, if you need me, I'm just a text, email, or a direct message away. And until next week at this same time, everyone in the audience, please be safe and be blessed.